Hello, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing a WIP and chat. I'm going to be working on the diamond painting of this image here. This is Autumn Hills by Natalia Zagori from Crystal Canvas Art Designs. It's a 40 by 50 that is full crystal rhinestone. So I finished this amount here. I was actually planning to do this as my WIP and chat from last week, but then I ended up buying some Heaven Art Designs cross-stitch patterns, and then I ended up doing a kitting up. And the following day I did another kitting up. And that's gonna be this Friday's video, so yeah, you know, sometimes the kitting up urge bug kicks in and I have to kit up instead of diamond painting. Problems. Kitting up addiction problems. So I'm going to work on the section over here. I split this into like 8 sections. I've noticed each of these sections take about 2 hours. So I'm only going to do half of this. I don't think I have 2 hours worth of talking in me. Do I have 2 hours of talking in me today? I don't know. But I've been trying to keep my WIP and chats around the 1 hour-ish mark. So let's just do half. So I'm going to add some black tape here to mark my half mark. Does that look half? No, that bottom part looks bigger. Let's move it down a little. Let's include the whole steeple. That's what it's called? Steeple? Let's include the whole. There. So I'm just using, this is like, I think it's like vinyl tape or something. I got it in anticipating, in hope that I'd be able to use it to do my borders around the canvas, and it didn't end up working. It also peels off the canvas. So the only thing I've had work on the sides of the canvas that doesn't peel off is seriously masking tape, and I bought black masking tape. Washi tape always peeled off for me. So I'm gonna just cut the section here. So since I wasn't able to use this for the edges of the canvas, I'm just using it now for sectioning off purposes. I used to not do this. I used to replace it with my cover sheets from double-sided adhesive. But what would happen is if it would kind of curl, I don't know. So this, I've just gotten used to doing this. So I'm going to actually zoom in. I don't know how close you guys like to see it. I was like, do you want to see my hand really big? Is it gonna focus? There. So, yeah, we'll go very zoomed in today. And let's get started here. So I'm gonna do the predominant background color there. So J. And let's get started here. So you notice I don't actually do WIP and chats that often. It's one of my ones that I'm like, should I do it? Should I? Oh man. This one, unfortunately, the problem sometimes with the crystal rhinestone is the silver backing does not stick to the back of the... Oh, you couldn't see it because it was off camera, but I accidentally pulled up a drill. I think I need to turn on the air conditioning. We'll see if it turns on. It's actually relatively warm today, but this week has been much colder than usual. I don't normally diamond paint in here, so... Oh wait, I forgot, because I'm not wearing my... I'm like, something's wrong. I'm like, okay. I'm gonna move this a little bit closer to me. There. I forgot to set my timer. Well. So what was I saying? I don't know. Oh, yeah, I've been getting a little bit of drills just sticking to me, so I try not to touch the part that's already been finished, because, yeah, see, I don't know if you can see this one here popped off. And I haven't had issues with the crystal canvas art designs too much, but I don't know if it's because it's warm. I think it's also the silver backing. The silver backing doesn't stick to the canvas as well as regular drills. I don't know. But this one, it's been kind of annoying me with the drills kind of popping, but I've had that issue with a whole bunch of diamond paintings this summer because I think it's just warmer than usual, at least for me. And then, like, if I touch it, like, it can come off and stick to me as opposed to the canvas. I was like, what am I? Why do you like my skin better than the sticky canvas? So, I don't know if this is one of those. So I'm just using a 5-placer. I was using my lighter plastic pens, and I missed the metal multi-placers, and unfortunately the metal I have like some random extra drill, like random non-rhinestone drill in there. Unfortunately, because I went back to using my plastic ones, and I was like, oh man, the plastic multi-placers just don't last as long, and it was starting to get annoying, but I was like, oh man, but they're so much lighter. So, let's see. What did I do? So last week, since I didn't have a whip and chat last week, I guess I'll talk about the last 2 weeks. So, last weekend, I went to my sister's house for Labor Day weekend. See, it's the weekend for me right now. It's Saturday, 9/10, and Saturday, September 10, and during Labor Day weekend, which was probably 2 weekends ago for you now. Well, at least in the US, it was Labor Day weekend. I don't know if Labor Day is a US holiday and if other countries celebrate it. But yeah, it was Labor Day weekend, and I had taken the Thursday and Friday before it off because the Thursday was my mom and my dad's birthday. My dad's currently in the Philippines, so I did call him actually Wednesday night because Wednesday night was Thursday morning for the Philippines, so I called him Wednesday night, and I asked him if he was having a party, and he's like, I don't know, but it's probably... I think it's one of those, I'm too busy working on doing all the... I don't know if I said that my dad is extending the store he has in the Philippines, the little store he has in the Philippines. Well, I don't know if it's so little anymore. And so he's been busy with all the construction, so I think he was just more like, I'm busy with all the construction. Who cares about my birthday kind of thing. But I did eventually, he sent a picture later on that day with him and with a cake. So I think someone sent him a cake. I forgot who. I think it was, yeah, I don't remember who. He told me. So I guess someone set up something for him. So then I went on Thursday, like before Labor Day. Thursday before Labor Day, I went and I visited my mom, who's currently staying with my sister, and I made a cake. It was the first time I made that type of cake, so it was like one of those. I don't know if it's gonna work, but if it tastes good, it's okay. I made a tres leches cake, but I had to Filipinoize it. Like, I had to put a Filipino touch on it, and I made it a buko pandan flavored tres leches cake. And buko pandan is like a common dessert flavoring, I guess, in the Philippines. So I had pandan extract, which is like this green leaf. I don't know how to describe it, but I really like the taste of pandan. But yeah, it's I think it's an extract from a leaf of some sort, and I don't know how to describe the taste of it, but it pairs really well with coconut. So I thought I should make a buko pandan flavored tres leches cake. So I added the what do you call that? Man, my more words are missing from me today. I added pandan paste. It was called pandan paste to the cake part when I baked it, and then I added. So in tres leches cake, one of the portions is like this milk mixture that has condensed milk, evaporated milk, and then regular milk mixed in together, and that's the three milks, and then you pour that over the cake so that it kind of adds, I guess, moisture to the cake. So to that milk mixture, I added buko pandan extract, and then I used that, and then I poured it over the cake, and then I made a whipped cream to put on top. And then I also made, well, because usually buko pandan has some sort of like gelatin kind of thing in it. So I made one that was a pandan flavored gelatin, and then I cut it into little cubes, and I used that as my toppings on top of the cake. So yeah, that's what I ended up making. It's one of those ones I made it for the first time, and I didn't think about it until after I finished it. I was like, you know what I should have done for my third milk? I should have used coconut milk. That would have tasted really good. So I think if I ever make it again, see, that's my problem. I sometimes never repeat the things I make. If I make it again, I think I might replace the regular milk with coconut milk. And I think that would taste really good. But that could have been my third milk. So yeah, I made that cake. It actually turned out pretty good. That's why I said, I was like, if I make it again. And so then, yeah, I went to visit. We just pretty much, I think we're like just except my dad, who has to keep himself busy all the time. My sister, my mom, and we can be fine just staying at home doing like nothing. So I visited. I went to see my niece. My niece was a little bit more than 5 months now. She's actually, yeah, she'll be turning 6 months soon, and she has so many more expressions now. It's actually very cute and delightful. I think I need more. And she's actually, right now, she's relatively easy to carry, because before, like when the babies are really young, like you kind of are afraid they're just going to die because their neck is going to just break because they can't hold their necks up. So it's so much easier a little bit to carry the babies when you're not afraid of breaking their neck as much. Yeah, I have no children, so this is my extent of experience with babies. So I don't have children. I never babysitted in high school. I remember, like, in high school, I don't know if this was a kosher thing to do, but my high school Spanish teacher called me like one time while I was at home, and I was like, and she was asking if I could babysit because I happen to live, okay, so I went to a private high school and it was in San Francisco, but I lived in a suburb of San Francisco, which was about maybe 20 minutes away at least. So I think my Spanish teacher lived in the same town. So she called me and asked if I would babysit. And then I was like, I talked to my mom. My mom was like, no, you want to say no because this is what my mom said. Because one, she knew I had zero experience babysitting. So I was like, I don't know. I mean, yeah. And then my mom was like, if something happens to that kid, you're not going to get a good grade from that class. This is what comes out of my mom's mouth. And so I said no, that I was not comfortable babysitting because I really wasn't comfortable babysitting. But then when your teacher calls you, I don't know, I feel like you kind of have to say yes, which that's why I said I wasn't sure how kosher it was for my teacher to ask me to babysit. But I think it was because seriously, I guess I'm a relatively good student and that I lived nearby, as in the same suburb, because she must have seen it in the directory or something. But yeah, like I said, I kind of feel like that was a little out there. You know what was funny is I don't know, later in the year, apparently her son was going to the same, was enrolled in the same karate. I did karate when I was in middle school to high school. I actually got to brown belt, so, but then I never did it again after that. But her son apparently was enrolled in the same, I was gonna say school, but it was just karate lessons through the rec center. So, but he was enrolled in the same program. So I was like, during one of the I forgot what it was called, where you test to get a higher belt. 1 for 1. That was when I was testing to go from a purple belt to a brown belt. My teacher was there because apparently her son was in the kids class, and then she was like, she went up to me, she's like, oh, I'm gonna stick around and watch yours, and I was like, oh my gosh, why is but yeah, so see, that's how crazily weirdly small I guess the world is. But it's like one of those things it's kind of weird to see your teacher outside of your normal school life. So yeah, that was just strange. Okay, I don't know how I got into this tangent. Oh yeah, so me saying that I have no real experience with babies. So what I'm saying now is my niece can hold her head up, she smiles and laughs. It's great, and she could go from laughing to crying, as if we were hurting her or something in in a millisecond. And then suddenly she's crying as if we were as if she crying like crazy, and then she would be starting to laugh. It's just, yeah. But what will be interesting is I don't know if my sister will be feeding her the solid food, but the next time I visit, my niece should be over 6 months, and my sister was my sister at her baby shower got this ninja on a NutriBullet, I don't know, whatever, blender for baby food, and it's really cute looking. I feel like they just put they make even though all it is a little blender, and my sister could have just used her own blender that she uses to make smoothies. It was a little blender that had little containers for baby food and things like that. And then the blender had like a happy face on it. It was really cute. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. I don't know. So she took out the little blender to make baby food and something like that. So I was asking her, I was like, so what's the first meal gonna be? She's like, probably something easy like a banana. Everything else was like, oh, if you do the pears, you actually have to cook the pears. If you do like the sweet potato, you actually have to cook the potato. So she was like, it was either going to be a banana or an avocado was going to be the first meal. And I was like, maybe that's going to be entertaining to help feed the baby. Would be a lot of fun. Because what's it called? My sister breastfeeds, so except for the like early on, like my niece wasn't gaining as much weight as she should have, so my sister started like just pumping and feeding directly from the bottle to monitor how much she was eating. But then after a while, she was fine, so she went back to just breastfeeding. So, but at that other time, I was able to bottle feed her, and it was like, it's so cute to bottle feed the baby. But yeah, now I'm like, nope, no bottle feeding. I haven't had to do it for a while, so I think it'll be interesting to see feed the baby food. And food is so delicious. Milk, I'm like, yeah, I'm one of those people who would rather eat their calories than drink it. So like all those things there that talk about like losing weight and saying like, oh, just don't put sugar in your coffee, oh, don't drink soda. Well, I'm like, I never really, I drink my coffee black and I don't drink soda, so I need other ways too. But my problem is chips, but chips are my addiction. But yeah, I think it'll be really cute, hopefully. Really cute to feed my niece. So I'm looking forward to the next visit, assuming the doctor gives the okay to eat the food, eat solid food. Or mushed up solid food, because that's about it. What she's gonna get, mushed up solid food. Okay, I got that one all done. I'm actually doing this one, well actually no. See, I just did the easy one, so it seems like I did a lot. Alright, so that was, and then, oh yeah, so then like, we had cake, and my mom, we sang happy birthday, and we also got like, what kind of food? We got Thai food. We were asking my mom's like, what kind of food do you want? And she's like, any. That's the problem with my mom. She'll always just be like, I just want any. And then I was like, we can't eat any. So we started just naming types of food. And then eventually she was like, oh, okay, Thai food. So I actually haven't had Thai food in a while, so it was actually kind of nice, because where I live in Kitsap County in Port Orchard, I think there's one Thai restaurant, but it's one of those, like, it's in the middle of nowhere, and I don't know, I've seen mixed reviews for it, so I haven't tried it. And since I kind of live in not a bustling city, every single Asian restaurant has kind of like a more multi-Asian food restaurant. So like the teriyaki place will sell Chinese food. Like there's this one teriyaki place that sells Chinese food, and it also sells teriyaki. Oh, and so like this is one of the weird things, at least for me, I thought it was weird when I moved to Washington, is that they have specifically teriyaki restaurants. And that was like a weird thing to me, because we didn't have that, at least in the San Francisco area where I was living, like pretty much grew up in. We didn't have teriyaki specific restaurants. It was just a Japanese restaurant. But there are teriyaki specific restaurants, a lot more teriyaki specific restaurants here. So the teriyaki restaurant that I periodically go to, because it's just on my way home and gives a lot of food. So, but they also sell teriyaki, they sell Chinese food, and they sell fish and chips. And I'm like, it was one of those, okay, what is this kind of weird kind of mixture of foods, fish and chips, teriyaki, and Chinese food? But it's actually not bad. So it was decent food, but I just kind of find it funny that we have all these, like, at least where I live, these multi kind of food places, as opposed to, I'm only going to be a Chinese restaurant, I'm only going to be a Japanese restaurant. There was a Filipino restaurant I went to in Bremerton, which also kind of had the similar thing. It was selling Filipino food, but it was also selling teriyaki, and I think they sold Chinese food too, and they also sold fish and chips. So I'm like, maybe Washingtonians like fish and chips? I don't know. It's a one-stop shop. You want to buy teriyaki, Chinese food, Filipino food, and fish and chips at one sitting, go to one place. I just thought it was interesting. But I don't know. That could just be me. I'm not the biggest fan. Well, it's just weird to me to have so many different kind of food, I guess, in the same restaurant. But if that's what the restaurant owners had to do to survive in this area, kudos to them. Their restaurants are still open. So, yeah. And yeah, so it was a nice chill time. So I stayed there on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then I went home Saturday evening so that I could have Sunday and Monday at home. Sometimes you just kind of need that weekend time to be in your own house. I don't know. I'm one of those people who is a very big homebody, so sometimes you just need those days where you're at home kind of thing. So since I did take the multi days off, I came home on Sunday and had Sunday, and I came home Saturday night, and I had Sunday and Monday to do my stuff I had to do here. I ended up trimming on Monday, or no, it was Sunday. Sunday I ended up trimming my bushes outside. Like, I swear there was this one bush that I trimmed all the way to, like, the stump practically at, like, probably in 2020, and it's a full grown plant now. It's huge. So I actually did the same thing because I kind of didn't want it there. It was like at this corner part, and it just got too big. It was touching the side of the house already, and I just didn't like where it was. So I should have dug it up, but it was huge already. Probably digging it up would have, yeah, I probably should have dug it up, but I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna trim this all the way to the bottom. If it grows back, I guess I could cut it up again. It was not like I was gonna put anything new there anyway. And then I just kind of kept going until I filled up my green bin for the yard waste. And then I'm gonna do that again next weekend. This weekend is a little too hot, and plus this weekend, well, there's some wildfires around, and right now we're having our weird, like, we have it like every year where wildfires go on and there's a haze. So it's like as if you could kind of see the haze of the smoke, and right now it's that time. I think that's why, even though supposedly today is supposed to be like in the 90s, it's not actually as cold as, as hot as I thought it would be. I'm wondering if the haze is actually cooling it down because it's hiding the sun. Because it's not that sunny outside. And I think it's because the haze is hiding the sun. So it's actually not as hot as I thought it would be. I didn't even turn on the air conditioning until now because I, I was having the drills kind of sticking to me and popping off. So I'm just making it a little bit colder. So it's, I kind of find the poured glue is a little bit more sticky when it's warmer. So I try not to diamond paint when it's too hot in the room because it makes it really hard to diamond paint because it just becomes really slippery. So yeah. So that was last weekend. Also, at work. Okay, so I said I took Thursday and Friday off. So on Thursday like afternoon, it was probably like about 4:30. I get a text from one of my coworkers, and I just happened to be holding my phone, so I saw it right away because I'm not one of those people who hold my phone all the time, and so sometimes I don't see texts and calls right away because it's like not in my hand. But I just happened to be holding my phone at that time, and then I get a text from one of my coworkers, and he told me that there was a fire at the lab, and I was like, oh my gosh, fire at the lab, and I was like, oh my gosh, is anyone hurt? But it was a fire in the lab in one of the rooms, and it was not that there was a fire, like a fire started kind of in the lab. It was apparently somewhere a tree fell down on a power line, and then the power line, like something happened to the power, and it caused a surge into my workplace building, and it caused the breaker to broke, you know, the breaker breaks, and then it started a fire, and apparently a whole bunch of folks surge protectors also blew up, and at least at the lab, and started smoking. And so that's what he meant by the fire. I was like, oh my gosh, I thought at first like someone spilled like something and it caught fire, because I work in a lab, so that I was kind of afraid for. But no, it was a power surge. And so he sends me the message, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I was like, why am I so far away to handle this? Because if I was at home, I would have went in. And so I would have went in. So apparently the folks that were in there, the circuit breaker caught fire. I don't know if it was something caught fire, caused the fire alarm to go off. The folks that were still there, which is actually not that many people, because it was Friday after 4, and a lot of people hours only go up to 4:30. So I think it was like past 4:30 already by then. So and plus some people were working from home, so they were not there. And so there was actually not that many people at the lab, which was good, I guess. But it was also bad because there was not a lot of people at the lab. So lab instrumentation is actually pretty expensive. I don't know if you realize this, but yeah, some lab equipment costs as much as my house or more. Yeah, one of the recent things we bought for my work, I was like, yeah, my house costs less than that. Like, so some of the lab equipment is expensive. So after the power surge went on, the power went out, but we have emergency generators. So the stuff didn't turn off. The stuff on the emergency power did not turn off, and a large amount of our instrumentation is on the generator. But at some point the generator will run out, but they assured us that the generator shouldn't run out as long as we keep adding fuel to the generator. But with the power surge going on, it was recommended that we did turn off and unplug, take it away from the socket, any of our instruments, just in case they would not be able to handle a accidental power. And I'm like, okay. So there I was thinking, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even have, it's like, we had to like shut down something. I luckily someone in my group volunteered to come in really late, so they came in like, yeah, someone started some of these shutdown processes, but some of the shutdown processes do take like an hour or so to shut down. So, and then someone else came in later in the night to physically turn off the instruments, and the power did not come back on. Like, or the power was on, but it was on emergency power, and it didn't all get fixed until about, was it Wednesday? This past Wednesday. And FYI, I'm recording this on Saturday, so everything I'm talking about was last week. So I was like, oh my gosh. So some things had to be canceled because there's only so much work you can do when everything was turned off. A lot of folks were able to at least do their computer stuff that they needed to do, so that got caught up. But yeah, up until Wednesday afternoon, the lab was kind of just running on emergency power. One good thing is my group didn't miss any expiration dates, so because we have some of our stuff, we have certain times where it's too late to do the analysis, or it's too late to do it because there's expiration dates on some of the stuff we do. Luckily, we did not hit any of those points, and hopefully, but then after they got the power set up, yeah, there's more stuff. After they got the power all fixed up again, so that was Wednesday afternoon. Thursday, or during that time, they realized until you have the power back on, you don't really know what survived and didn't survive. So a whole bunch of outlets stopped working, so those have to get fixed. A bunch of surge protectors broke. I'm gonna just use my smaller tray. A bunch of surge protectors broke, and they found out part of the HVAC system kind of went cuckoo in some of the sections, so it was not safe to be in those rooms, because we have, I don't know if it's HVAC, I don't know, I don't know maintenance stuff, so we have a lot of hoods in the lab that make sure that any of the harmful fumes were not breathing it in. So a lot of the stuff, it's like the stuff we do can be, we have to do them inside hoods and things like that. So apparently, I don't know if it probably was caused by the surge, that a couple of the lab rooms lost their capability to their air. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know all of the terminology because I'm not a maintenance person. I don't know, but the rooms were just, the hoods in the rooms were not functional, and unfortunately, 2 of the rooms were rooms that we do a lot of work in. So I was like, okay, fine. So we ended up having to move around some stuff. Because we do, in the building we work in, it's not just us that's in there. We share the facilities with another group, and they had stuff go down too, but a couple of their rooms were still good, and a couple of our rooms were still good too. So we were able to kind of do like a share lab space kind of thing for a little bit, but it's not easy to share the lab space. Sometimes it's like it's like you're kind of visiting a place and you don't feel as comfortable doing your work there just because it's not your space. So yeah, we just did not end up getting that much done last week. And So then they were working on fixing all of that on Thursday. They didn't get it done, and then they were working on it on Friday. It still wasn't done on Friday, so they're supposedly working on it during the weekend, and hopefully it will be done next when we come in on Monday. But we will see. Because yeah, no, it was fun times, fun times. I don't know about that. Fun times. All right, so now I realize I've been not answering the questions because I think that's enough about the craziness that was happening at my work. Because yeah, no, it was this week was just yeah, it was yeah. So let's do questions. So Berta asked, in one of my kitting downs, where did I get the little cards with the rounded corners that I put my colors information on? She wants to do a box similar to yours, but it's not as pretty, and I don't have a label printer or whatever you use to make your box look nice. So the little cards, like I guess you mean like this little card here, I cut these out myself using my silhouette cutter. I had previously, so yeah, I had cut these out and I purposely made the little round corners. But at some point I did buy these, which, wow, I was like, it's just really zoomed in. This here is a blank playing card. So, that has the Jack, Queen, King kind of thing. It's a blank playing card, which I do link in, I think I linked it. I don't know. I link it in some of my, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I link it, I got that off of Amazon, and I'm pretty sure I linked it in the video for my kitting downs. And if you don't have your own silhouette thing to cut the card, you can just buy the blank playing cards and then put stickers on it. So like something like that. I am apparently not using this card here. And what was I saying? I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Okay, no, yeah. And then my templates for my DMC things, like this label here, that is available for you to print yourself in my shared templates folder. I just share and the link should be in the video. It should be in this video. I have that link it's in my default YouTube upload. So there should be a link to my shared folder, why am I like, I can't speak, my shared templates folder, and I have the templates for my labels there. And I also have instructions for at least what size labels I use. So I'm not using a label maker. I'm using like labels. Well, I'm using like, these full sheet labels here, which you can't really see because it's so big. But I bought this like a long time ago. It's already pre-cut. It's pretty much Avery 8167, but I just bought the store brand because I'm cheap. So yeah, I have a label maker. I was gonna say I don't have a label maker, but I do have a label maker, but it's just one of those ones that prints on the little strips and then you just type something in there. But that's what I use, and then I printed it on a printer. So that's where I got all of that from. And yeah, and I made it myself. But I have no plans of like selling it, so that's why I ended up sharing it. I was like, here, go, if you want to print them, you could print them yourself. But The templates are all there somewhere. I have like I have a lot, tons of things in there. I have my templates for my DMC labels. I have my journal entries in there too. I don't know if I have anything else. Do I have anything else in there? Yeah, I think, yeah, my templates for my labels and my journal entry, my different journal entry ones that I've done as the years gone by. I don't take out the old ones, I just leave it in there. So thanks, Berta. Okay, Colleen asked, do you know an easy way to place AB diamonds? Yeah, AB diamonds have a tendency to pull out the wax from your pen. So I have found that if you just have a older pen that has older wax in there, it does work relatively well for ABs. But the ABs have that coating on there, so it does eventually kind of gunk up the old wax again too. So what I end up doing sometimes is, if it gunked up, instead of putting new wax, I'll just get like my tweezer and just like just kind of mix around the wax in there, and then just so it's like not all old, it's not completely new, and it's not all old. I mean, it's not all completely new and some of it is still old, and that helps extend it a little bit. And also I have found that multi-placers work, at least for me, they have worked a little bit better for the ABs than the single placers. It doesn't, the ABs don't pull it out as easily, but that could just be my experience from it. So, okay, so I was doing Y, but I did notice that this gray color is also the color that they're used in the cloud here, and I had done one cloud that gray color and I didn't like how it looked. I left the other clouds at gray, but I want my other clouds to be white, so I actually went into my stash and just got my 001, which is the equivalent to like white, I guess, and I'm gonna replace this for the clouds to this color here instead of the gray that the other one was, because I just didn't like it. I was like, no, that looks like rain clouds, and I'll put one rain cloud and then the rest could be this nice white rain cloud. I mean, this nice white lighter rain cloud, so it's not so ominous looking. So just because something is charted that way does not mean you have to follow it. Because there's been times where I'm like, no, I don't like it. Why did they choose that color? And there's nothing stopping you from, at least if you keep your spare drills and have a stash of spares like I do, there's like nothing stopping me from just going to it and replacing the color with something I want instead. Okay, more H's, more H's. So thanks, Colleen. Okay, Colleen asks, what's a good sealer for diamond painted keychains? I've been using a spray sealer, and so far my favorite one is the Krylon Glitter Blast. I think it was Paula who told me about it, and ever since I've tried it, it's been my favorite. There's only been one spray sealer that I think might be as good that I've tried, and it was, I think, the Patricia Nemox spray sealer thing that I got at Walmart at some point. But I don't know, maybe it's just the first one that I ended up liking. I still like the Krylon Glitter Blast Clear Sealer. It's one of those ones that kind of fluctuates in price a lot though, so I do have like a stash of them, a stash of it if I ever see it like low priced. Because there's a point that I was like, it was like $10. I'm not buying that $10. So whenever I see it like around $6 or something, I just buy like 4 or something. Because I'm like, I diamond paint a lot, I'll use it. So I think right now I have like probably like 7 of them unopened. But that so far has been my favorite. I just spray it, and and then wait 15 or 20 minutes, spray it again, wait another 15 or 20 minutes, and then spray it a third time, and then let it dry for a couple hours before I start handling it. And then if your keychains are double-sided, I would let it completely dry before turning it around and doing the other side. And that's pretty much what I've been doing. All right, thank you, Colleen. Barbara asked, what is your silhouette cutter, and can you show us how it works? I've never heard it before. I don't know if it's called a silhouette cutter, but yeah, it's a silhouette. It's, if you've heard of the Cricut, I don't know, is it called Cricut or Cricut? I don't know. I think it's Cricut. It's similar to the Cricut, just a different brand. It's one of those ones that it has like a blade in it, and you can tell it to cut the material in there a certain force and things like that. I've pretty much used it to cut stickers, cut the cardstock, cut vinyl, to make, like, see this here, I used it to cut out my name from some vinyl here. Wow, it's super zoomed in. It just looks really weird when I'm seeing it on my camera screen or my TV. Like, if you watched my setup, what my setup looks like, I do have my video being cast to the TV that's nearby, and so I can see what is being recorded. But yeah, I don't know if I'd ever really show my silhouette because I'm not an expert in it. I've used it. I could fight it a little bit. Like, I could be like, okay, it's gonna work, and it doesn't work, and then you get frustrated with it, and then yeah. I'm not really an expert in it too much, but it's been interesting to try out every so often. But that was my Christmas present to myself last 2021's Christmas. But and that's also what I used to cut these cards out. And if you don't have a silhouette cutter, you could always just get like cardstock and cut it with, a paper cutter. And because I have one of these, you could use one of these, and it punches out corners really nicely. It's like a corner hole punch. Thanks, Barbara. Kimberly asked, what size light pad is good for beginners that diamond paint for the first time? Kimberly, I actually did not have a light pad when I did my first, I don't know, maybe 4 diamond paintings. I did end up buying one at some point, but I didn't use it that much. I didn't end up liking it so much. I liked it, but I would find myself turning it off more often than turning it on. So, but if you are starting out, the cheapest one you could probably buy is the A4 size. You could probably find one for less than $15 now. My first A4 light pad, well, actually my only A4 light pad, because I only have one, I got for about like $20, but I kind of went, but I wanted one that was like magnetic or something, because I don't know, I was thinking about doing like not having, like, I thought I needed it, but no, I'm like, no. But yeah, you could buy an A4 size one, and that's probably just fine, because most of the time, at least for me, I don't work on the whole diamond painting. I only work on a little section, so all I really need is the little section lighted up. But my mom, okay, I've been fortunate that I've had companies send me light pads. So I had a company send me a A3 light pad, which is, I don't know, it's the size of the paper, and unfortunately I'm like, I don't know what A3 is. I think A3 is like double the size of the A4, and A4 is about the size of a letter size paper. And but I don't know, maybe you're not in the US and you know exactly what are the sizes of these. But I would just buy the A4 one and see if you like it. But if you think you're gonna like diamond painting and you can afford it, I would just go straight for the A3 light pad. You could actually find them for like $25. I've seen a couple for like $25. And they're big enough but not too big. But that's, yeah. I guess it just depends on how much you think you're gonna like this craft. But I would say just do your first one, unless you really need the light pad to see the drills really well, because I'm not using a light pad right now and I could see this canvas really well without the use of a light pad. But if your eyesight isn't as good as mine, because I have relatively good eyesight, the light pad is like, my mom, she's like, oh, she loves her light pad. She's like, but yeah, my mom really liked the A3 light pad way better, even though she doesn't really work on that many very big diamond paintings. She liked the A3 one better than the A4 one. And then when I got a A2 light pad, she ended up liking the A2 light pad more than the A3 one, even though I was like, Mom, this is ginormous. You don't even diamond paint something that big. She's like, I like the light around. It helps me see it. I was like, okay. So it just, I guess, depends on your need. Me personally don't need the light pad. If I ever have to take out the light pad, it will be a negative against the diamond painting company, because I'll be like, this was so bad I had to take out my light pad. And I don't even use a light pad most of the time, but if it was so bad I had to take a light pad out, it was bad. But yeah, I would recommend getting if you think you're gonna like this whole diamond painting craft, go just straight for the A3, because if you just look around, you could probably find one for about $25 to $30. But if you're not sure and just want something to get through your first one, and I really think all you really need is an A4 light pad, is just get an A4 light pad. Most of them you could get for like $15 to $25 probably. I got my first one for like, I think $18. So they're relatively inexpensive nowadays, the light pads. And I can't say how long they last because I didn't use mine for more than a year. I didn't know. It was probably like a couple months. I only used mine for like a couple months before I stopped using my light pad. But it still works when I open it when I need it. But yeah, A4, or if you can afford it and you think that you're gonna like this craft, just go straight for the A3. I think the A2 is very big, so unless you have space for it, I would just stick with the A3. But I know some folks like the big ones, so. But the A2 ones are a little bit more expensive, and that's why I was like, that's one of those ones where you kind of have to think about whether you want the big one or not. All right, thank you, Kimberly. Tammy asked, I know your mom helps with your completions, but when do you find the time to complete the number you do? I have a supervisor role at work and I struggle to find time, and I'm very tired. I'm so tired after my day. I do try to work on them in the weekends, but that is when I'm not catching up on life. Love your videos. Thank you, Tammy. I diamond paint a lot. This is my stress relief. I actually diamond paint more when my day at work was just like, you know. So actually, there was a time where I was just so stressed out at work, I ended up just like diamond painting all the time. And this is also why I'm very behind on answering your questions on comments. I apologize. Is because I think just about like 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, I was just so stressed out at work that all I would do when I would come home is I'd just be like, I'd eat dinner and I'd just be like, I just need to diamond paint. I just need to turn my brain off and just diamond paint. So Actually, the more stressed out I am, the more I'm actually going to diamond paint. And because that's what I use this for. I'm not, a lot of what I do the diamond painting for is seriously stress relief, and if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't diamond paint as much. Oh, actually, I don't know. And I enjoy it a lot too. But I normally diamond paint every evening for about 2 or 3 hours. Like let's see here. So this is pretty much all I've been working on this past week. So I did 2 hours here, 4 hours here, 3 hours here, 3 hours here, and then yesterday I only did an hour and 28 minutes. So yeah, it kind of varies, but yeah, I sometimes am tired after work, but a lot of it is more mentally tired. So I don't know. I just use this to turn my brain off because I need the brain turn off thing, and I just need to not think about anything, and this helps me really think about nothing. And that's probably why I diamond paint so much, and this is probably why I got so into it during the pandemic too, because those were some crazy uncertain times, and I'm like, and this really, really helped me not go crazy during that time. Like, so yeah. I mean, I diamond paint pretty much every day that I'm at home. Like, but when I go visit my sister, and I don't tend to bring my diamond paintings with me. I did before, but then after my niece was born, I was just like, I'd rather play with my niece and things like that. So I didn't end up actually diamond painting that much this past week, or not. Yeah, the past 2 weeks, because I went to my sister's house, and then this past week I told myself I have to go answer my comments. Answer your comments. So there's a couple days I didn't diamond paint. Like, I didn't diamond paint on the 5th and the 6th. What day was that? Monday and Tuesday. I didn't diamond paint Monday and Tuesday last week, so that I could answer comments and answer emails and do other things. Like, I think I did laundry. But yeah, I think actually the more stressed out I am, the more I diamond paint. I don't actually diamond paint as much as I used to. I was looking at what I did like in 2020. I diamond painted way more in 2020 than I do now. I just diamond paint a lot of the small stuff that takes like an hour or two, so I'm finished with it in the same day that I started, kind of thing. So it might seem like I diamond paint a lot, although maybe I still diamond paint a lot. I don't know. But yeah, no, I just diamond paint a lot. Just diamond paint a lot. Yeah. And I diamond paint while watching TV and stuff like that. That's how I get my stuff in sometimes. But there are days, like I said, I don't diamond paint because I have to catch up with stuff. Just stuff. Alright. Painting with pitties. Am I reading that right? Yeah. I love budget companies. Can I ask what are the stickers on your logbook pages? The purple sticker and the blue diamond. Oh, let's see. So the purple stickers and the blue diamonds. So these are just like, these stickers I made myself. I cut it out with my silhouette. So this sticker is, when I finish my next one, it'll be 298 diamond paintings completed since I started in 2020. And then this one is in 2022, I'm at 102. So whatever is next is going to be 298 in all and 102 in 2022. So that's what that is. It's just my way of keeping track, I think, of, well, for me, keeping track of what number I'm on. And I made that mainly because originally my journal was on just a spiral notebook kind of thing. It was on a spiral sketchbook, so I could not move the pages around. And it was just my way of keeping track of what order I finished everything in. And for whatever reason, I just like to keep track of that. So that's what those are. Low Price 6 said, can you please share the templates for the labels you made? And what size address labels you have? Thanks. So I already answered that in the earlier part of this video. The labels I actually do share in my shared folder, but she, I don't know. This person asked this in a old video. It's, yeah, I can tell it's a very old video because of what table I'm making the video on. So it must have been my really early kitting down video. So I didn't share it then. So when I answer this for real, you know, typed up, I'll share the link there. So thank you for the question. So Brenda, actually one of my older videos from earlier this year, I think that's earlier this year, or no, it was either earlier, yeah, I don't know when this was up. I think it was just earlier this year. She watched one of my old kitting ups, which was my Ever Moment kitting up, and my DPF diamond painting kitting up, and I think that was when I was doing the crazy static struggle during the kitting up. And she says that she was annoyed for me. I was like, thanks. It was, yeah, static is one of those things that actually makes kitting up not enjoyable, and I enjoyed kitting up, so. And she asked, have you ever purchased from Ever Moment again? Are they still the same? Because it's a deal breaker for me. Happy New Year, LOL. Hope you're well. So I guess that must have been my New Year video. So yeah, early this year. Or I might have recorded it in 2021 because if I was my New Year video. No, I actually have not purchased from Ever Moment since that time. They're pricey to me for a non-legally licensed diamond painting company. So when it's in that case, I kind of only purchase when it's on sale. So I don't know if I will, but I bought last year during the AliExpress 11/11 sale, which is probably the biggest sale AliExpress has, and at the time that was the cheapest that I saw any Ever Moment diamond painting. And I will probably, if I could figure out an image I want, I'd probably order from them again, because even though their drills were super staticky, but I think drills are, like, resin drills tend to be actually more staticky than regular drills, like acrylic drills. So, but I did enjoy the diamond painting because it was a pretty good quality diamond painting. So I think I will test them out, or not test them out, try them, or get another one for this AliExpress 11/11 sale, but it's not one that I would just keep buying all the time. Because one, I have a lot of diamond paintings, a lot, and two, if you time it correctly with coupons and things, I could get a bigger diamond painting from like Diamond Art Club, or even and Dreamer Designs or something. Those seem to be, to me, and probably Craftably, are the bigger diamond painting companies that are in the US. I could probably get a diamond painting from them, a bigger one with square drills, and it would be cheaper there than they are at Ever Moment. But Ever Moment did have less gapping than all of those companies. So sometimes I just enjoy the diamond paintings that have the less gapping, because that's how it's supposed to be. And I like how I like the look better when there's less gapping. So yeah, unfortunately, I still haven't found that premium diamond painting company that I'm like, okay, they're not doing the gapping. But yeah, no, they're just expensive. But they're very good quality. Their drills are like the best quality drills of resin drills I've ever had. So I can see why they're expensive. I just don't see why they're that expensive. So that's my disclaimer, I guess. But I'll probably try them out again. I just have to find an image I want. I think I might just do a custom from a picture on Pixabay or something for them and try that out. I'm thinking I wanted to do another picture of Mount Rainier. I just have to find a good picture. I wonder if I have a good picture of it. I don't know. We will see. All right. Thank you, Brenda. So Barbara asked, oh, she's talking about listening to audiobooks. Are they novels? And if so, who's your favorite authors? Yeah, so I do listen to audiobooks, and I do mainly listen to fiction. I mainly... Oop, I still have one V here. I like to listen to the stuff that's easy to listen to because I'm diamond painting at the same time, lots of times, and I don't need something that's hard to understand because there's too much symbolism or, I don't know, too many big words. I'm serious. So I do mainly listen to fiction, and they also have to be, the person reading it on the audiobook has to also not have a annoying voice, to me at least, and sound not too bad at a 1.5 speed, because I do listen to my audiobooks, because I get my audiobooks on my library Libby app, and it does allow you to listen to the audiobooks at the 1.5 speed. FYI, I watch back my YouTube videos at 2 times speed, just sometimes to make sure that they're uploaded correctly. And if you didn't know, there is an option to watch these YouTube videos at a faster speed. So if you're like, Joan, I'm sorry I don't have 2 hours to watch your video, but I still want to watch the whole thing, you can always change the speed to like 2 times. I do start sounding like a chipmunk, but that's what happens when you listen to things at the faster speed. But yeah, so they have to also sound relatively okay at this faster speed. But okay, so there's my audiobook preferences, the actual audiobook preferences. Now, authors. Okay, this might be kind of cutthroat how I do it, but I don't really care who wrote the books. It's really sad, but it's true. I tend to just... So what I tend to do is when I get the audiobooks, I would, one, sort it by available popular. Oh no, wait. I would sort it by popular, and then I just see what was the most popular, and if I haven't read it yet, I would look at the synopsis, and if I thought it was good. Lots of times when they're popular, they're already taken out, so I have to put them on hold. So if I find, I just kind of systematically go through them and just find the ones that I think are interesting and put them on hold. And I have the certain genres I listen to are the more lighthearted ones, so I don't listen to the crime drama. Those are very interesting. Like, I get why folks listen to them, but I like to listen to lighthearted ones. I have listened to the more popular of the crime dramas, or the, suspense ones, I guess that's what they're called. I have listened to the more popular ones, like ones if they made a movie for it, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go listen to this, like, things like Gone Girl or something, and like something like that, or that dragon tattoo thing. I feel like that came out a long time ago, but that was when I was still in California, and I swear and I was commuting to work. I swear everyone on the BART train was reading that book, like the physical book, so I had to go listen to it as an audiobook. No, I actually read that as a book. But yeah, things like this is how I find the things. I just like which is popular, does it sound interesting, and then I'll just read it. And I personally don't remember authors because, yeah, if that's how cutthroat I have to be. But, and then once I go through the popular, and if nothing was available, then I would do, and then I would, what do you call that? I would filter it to available now if I wanted something now. And I just find some random one. I do read a lot of, or listen to a lot of young adult and romance, because they're very easy to understand while diamond painting, and you don't have to pay attention too much, and you still get the gist of the storyline without being like, what happened? I have no idea. But I do, and they're also easy to get into. My problem with a lot of books is that, especially since I'm listening to it really quickly, I mix up the characters. I'm like, wait, who's that one? And, you know, so the more complicated the story is, I don't want to listen to it. And that's why, like, the young adult ones and the romance ones are easy to listen to because they're not complicated and there's usually only a handful of characters. But that's what I listen to, and and then once I find one that I like I'm like, oh, okay, I listened to this whole book, and this person's writing style is okay. I understood it, and I was interested in because there's been a lot of audiobooks that I've started, and I was like, nah, and I stop, and I'm like, it's not like I paid for it, except from taxes, maybe. Yeah, I don't know how the library is funded. Probably taxes. But then after I would finish one, I would just go to that author's listing on Libby and just pretty much systematically just read through practically their whole library, like, of stuff. And then sometimes I would read a book and the book would mention another book. Like, I remember, or like I would watch a TV show and find out it was from a book, and then I would read the book. Or find out a TV show is in development and it's based off of this book. And I'm like, oh, okay, it must be interesting enough to be a TV show, so I'm going to go read the book. That's what I did for Bridgerton. Before even the show came on, I read this article that that Netflix was going to do something different and do a what do you call that, romance novel as a series, and I was like, oh, okay. And then it mentioned who the author was. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just go listen to this author's one. And let me tell you, when the Bridgerton novels came out, the Bridgerton TV show came out, at the time, the only audiobooks that were available was just 1 and 2. 1, 2, and 3. So I was able to listen to the Bridgerton 1, 2, and 3. And 4 was not available. I think 5 was not available, but the last, how many children are there? 7? The last 7, yeah, 7, I think the last 2 were available. But I like to listen to the stuff in order, and I do recommend listening to that one in order because it kind of just goes systematically through all the children, so sometimes it might not be understandable if you skip one. Except you could probably skip 3, which is for the B brother. His storyline had like nothing to do with anything. And the younger ones, actually, since they were so much younger, their storyline didn't really have anything to do with everyone else's storyline, except the 2 youngest ones, I think, had something to do with each other. But FYI, if you're pondering whether to read them. So, but then after the TV show came out and it got popular or something, I went to check again and I was like, oh my gosh, 4 and 5 and whatever was already in there. But let me tell you, season 1 spoiled something that was in book 4. I think it was book 4, yeah. So, yeah. that's how I choose my audiobooks. It's just like I have like I hear randomly about it and then I go read them. That's how I found out that there's an actually like a romance novelist that lives in where I am, and she wrote her name was like Debbie Maycumber. She lives in my neck of the woods, and the reason I heard of that one was in the third book for the You series that the Netflix show is on. See, I read that one because I watched You, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go listen to the second book. And let me tell you, the first season followed the books really, really well. After that, the second season followed it kind of, but the third season did not follow the books much at all. Which I was kind of disappointed because the third book actually took place in Bainbridge Island, which is in the same county where I live, so it's in my neck of the woods. And I was like, oh yes, this season's gonna be in Bainbridge Island. Nope, it was not. But I think it's because the book came out just a few months before the season of the show, so the book hadn't come out yet. So I'm wondering if the show only had so much of the storyline in there, or this just decided to go a completely different way. But in that book, he mentioned the reason he moved to Bainbridge Island is because of Debbie Maycumber's books, and which took place in like Cedar Cove or something, which is a fictional place in Washington or something, and that's why he decided to go to Bainbridge. But yeah, it was, like I said, I kind of have roundabout ways to get to my books, and I don't know any of the authors of any of these books, unfortunately. So can't tell you who my favorite authors are. Alright, I talked a long time about that, and this is taking me much longer than I thought because, yeah, now I'm just on my smaller amount here. So, maybe one more question. How do you cut the washi so perfectly around the pick? Okay, so this is from a pretty old video. The question is on my very first journal video, where I used to put washi tape around my finished picture on my journal. And how I do that is I seriously get a ruler and then I just cut the edge. I put it farther out and then I just cut it straight. So no, it's not like beautifully put in. I just use a blade and cut off the part that's excess. And let's just finish this up here so that there's only so much left. It's those last sections that just kind of like, what else left? What is left? Okay, so. Question mark. So yes, maybe this question mark. I do have like double-sided tape in my single placer, but it's not as easy to use the double-sided tape in the single placer as it is the multi-placer. And I do notice that rhinestones do gunk up the wax, a little bit faster than regular drills. G. Here. Just needed one. I need one number 7. There, and then K. So this is what I meant, like, I don't know if I said it, that I thought this one would be really easy, but there's actually a lot more confetti than you think, especially that well, you can't see it. The bottom section, this top section is actually much easier because it's it's a lot of sky. A percent sign. There it is. It's a lot more sky, and then, oops, H. There. Nope, I just need one. All right, I think I got everything. So let's... All right, so let's zoom you out. Oops, wrong direction. Zoom you out, push you up. Oh, you can see my table there. So, oops, it's upside down. Here it is so far. It's actually almost finished. I might finish this tonight, maybe. Oh, stop my timer here. Finish this tonight, maybe. And it's almost done. Alright, so that's all I have for today. Thank you for keeping me company while I diamond painted this. I probably took longer to diamond paint this section with all my talking than everything if I just did it with no talking, but I have to learn how to multitask, right? Alright, thank you very much for watching, and happy diamond painting. Bye!